Hey, and welcome back to the Carolina Panthers Madden 20 franchise. As I said when I first started doing the franchise in the season preview, every 4 games, so breaking down the season into quarters. So this is the first quarter. So every quarter of the season, we'll go through, kind of see what's going on around the league, review what's been going on with the Panthers, and go through some stats and award races and stuff like that. So as you can see, we are 3-1. Kind of look at the league standings here. Unbeaten teams left are the Jets, 3-0. Good lord. And the Packers are 4-0. So those are your two undefeated teams remaining in the NFL. Look at the AFC North. We got the Browns. There's 3-1. Steelers also off to a good start at 3-1. Bengals and Ravens each 2-2 to round out the AFC North. AFC South, logjam here. This looks like it could be like 9 wins could win this division. If only we were so lucky in the NFC South. But we got the Texans at 2-2, Colts 2-2, Titans 2-2, and the Jaguars, who we will be playing this week, are at 1-3. AFC East, Jets again 3-0. Looks like they had an early bye week. They've already had their bye week because everybody else has played 4 games. So that's kind of surprising. Bills 3-1. Patriots 1-3. What is going on with New England? And the Dolphins, who have one of the worst teams in the league, at least in Madden, 0-4. They are tanking big time. Chargers at 3-1, Raiders 2-2, Chiefs 2-2, and the Broncos at 1-3. So pretty competitive division here in the AFC West so far. NFC North, Packers 4-0, Vikings overcoming an 0-2 start to get to 2-2. Lions and Bears three-way tie for second place at 2-2. NFC South, Panthers 3-1, Buccaneers 2-2, Saints 2-2, and the Falcons 1-3. So kind of a surprising start to our division here, as we can see the Saints 2-2. Maybe Drew Brees is starting to, get a little bit too old, and I don't know. I mean, the way that they have lost in the playoffs the last 2 years. I mean, I'm a Panthers fan. I hate the Saints, but, I couldn't imagine, losing back-to-back playoffs the way that they did with obviously the Minneapolis Miracle with Stephon Diggs, and then last year when they didn't call a blatant pass interference. I mean, I'm not going to lie. As a Panthers fan, I thought it was kind of funny, but I know I wouldn't want my team to go out that way. So, I did kind of feel for them a little bit, but so yeah, they're off to a 2-2 start, looking like they have a little bit of a hangover from that. NFC East sees the Cowboys and Eagles tied at 3-1, with the Redskins and the Giants 1-3. So it looks like this is going to be a 2-team race in the NFC East. And then the NFC West, Rams are 3-1. 49ers looks like they've already had their early bye week. They're 1-2. Seahawks 1-3. They started off 0-3. I see they got their first win last week, and then the Cardinals at 1-4. Let's kind of look at some stats here for the Panthers first, and then we'll kind of look at some league leaders. As you can see, offense, we are ranked 27th in total offense and 16th in total defense. Points scored, 100 points. That's good for 13th in the league. We've given up 82 points, which is in the top 10 at number 8. We'll look at Cam Newton here. Kind of a slow start for him. The completion percentage is up. It's 65%. That's pretty good for Cam. As you can see, 931 passing yards, but only 6 passing touchdowns through 4 games, already 5 picks. He's on pace to throw 17 or 18 picks so far. So we're gonna have to get better at that. And he's been sacked 14 times. So not a terrible start for Cam, but definitely a kind of a mediocre start when you look at the touchdown to interception ratio. But all in all, not a terrible start for Cam. We can see rushing. Christian McCaffrey, of course, he got hurt in the Cardinals game. He's going to miss the next couple weeks. He is the leading rusher right now with 154 rushing yards, 3.6. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet this season, so it's looking like he's gonna he's gonna come back after the bye week. So, second half of the season, hopefully, we can get Christian McCaffrey going. Cam Newton, despite the age, 136 rushing yards already, 2 touchdowns. And Jordan Scarlett, who had to step in for Christian McCaffrey, he got his first start of his career last week because we did cut Cameron Artis-Payne, so we kept 2 rookie running backs, Jordan Scarlett and Elijah Holyfield. So 119 yards. He had a good game against the Texans, a nice solid game. Does have a fumble, but no touchdowns. But it was for being the rookie, and his overall rating only being a 64. I couldn't have asked for a better start. We'll get to receiving. Of course, Curtis Samuel, 17 catches, 253 yards, and the touchdown. And DJ Moore, 12 catches, 232 yards. Curtis Samuel, he's coming off of a career game last week, over 100 yards against Houston. Greg Olsen, old reliable. He's not been injured yet, knock on wood. Just a reliable pass catcher. He's got 172 receiving yards for us. Same thing for Torrey Smith. He's kind of getting up there in age. A good veteran leader. He's got 128 receiving yards. And Christian McCaffrey, again, who is hurt, he has 12 catches for 103 yards, no touchdowns. So we look at the defense a little bit. Total tackles, Luke Kuechly, of course, leading the way with 39. He's on pace to have about 160 tackles this year. Obi Melifonwu, I swear I'm going to learn how to pronounce his name before this season's over. He's got 28 tackles. Eric Reed, 25. Bruce Irvin, 21. Tackles for loss, Bruce Irvin with 4. So he, no sacks yet for him, but he's having a pretty good year as far as stopping the run for us. And the sacks. Now this is one thing that I'm going to change in the sliders a little bit. I love how this game's going, how the season's going so far, how this game is playing, but I cannot generate any kind of a pass rush at all. As you can see, I've got 3 sacks from Brian Burns, 1 sack from Gerald McCoy, 1 sack from Kuechly, 1 sack from Mario Addison. So that's only 6 sacks through the first 4 games. So I'm going to do some tweaking on that. Interceptions, Dante Jackson leading the way with 2. 1 for Brian Burns, which was a pick 6, which was an awesome play from the Houston Texans game. And Bradbury's got 1 that was off the tip against the Buccaneers. Kicking, Graham Gano, 10 for 11. 8 for 9 extra points. He really struggled with his extra points last year. Let's see if we can see. I remember he hit that 64 or 65 yard field goal. He kicked it from behind the 50-yard line against the Giants last year to win that game. The Panthers had no business winning that game when you consider he had to kick a 65-yard field goal to get it done. But after that, he just fell off the face of the earth after that. As you can see, that's 2010. 2018, as you can see, not too bad, 14 for 16, but the extra points, he missed 3 of them down the stretch. Those were like all within very close proximity of each other, those 3 misses. And he missed the field goal against the Seahawks that could have given them a win. So, a lot of people like to blame Cam's shoulder. There was a lot that went wrong with the Panthers last year when that 7-game losing streak. Let's kind of look at the league leaders here, though. You can see Deshaun Watson leading the NFL in passing yards with 1,277. Like Cam though, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Tom Brady, I mean, 8 touchdowns, 1 interception. Their defense must be doing really awful because Tom Brady is balling here early, even at his age, 19th, 20th year in the league. And Drew Brees, he's over 1,200 yards already, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Aaron Rodgers, 8 touchdowns to just 1 interception. Baker Mayfield having a good second year so far. As you can see, 7 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions, 67 pass completion, almost 1,200 passing yards. Jared Goff, 9 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. And these are just kind of the league leaders here. Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco for the Broncos. Andrew Luck, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. Lamar Jackson, 9 touchdown passes for Lamar Jackson already. And Sam Darnold, exactly 1,000 yards passing. So, Dak Prescott, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Mahomes, he's only got 967 passing yards. I wonder what's going on with the simulations with Kansas City, but he's got 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Matt Ryan, and then there is Cam Newton, 21st in the league in passing yards. Kyler Murray, he's having a pretty good rookie year. Roethlisberger kind of struggling a little bit. Same with Phillip Rivers. So Russell Wilson, I mean, look at this. I mean, Russell Wilson is really having a hard time to start out the year this year. So we'll look at some awards here. I'm wondering if Brian Burns wasn't which he was not the defensive player, NFC defensive player of the week last week. Let's see if we've got anybody on here. Jared Goff against us, 4 touchdown passes. Michael Thomas. No, it doesn't look like we've had any players of the week. But we'll look at some more league leaders here in the other categories. And rushing, Ezekiel Elliott leading the way in rushing, 6 touchdowns, 552 yards already. Kareem Hunt for the Browns Madden must not be putting that suspension on him. What's his overall in this game? 91. God bless. Chris Carson's having a good year so far. Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, exciting young player. Todd Gurley, I wonder if his knee, what his knee situation is going to be like this year. And Melvin Gordon, he actually, when I'm recording this like now, I'm releasing all of these all at once, so you can at least for the regular season, I'm thinking, but because if I post the playoff games, you'll know I made the playoffs, but at least for the regular seasons, I'm thinking about, and obviously it'll be different if you're listening to this and they're not all out, recording all the gameplay, getting it all set up, and just releasing it all at once so you can binge watch it. Because that's the thing is when I'm following a Madden series, I like to follow the ones the year before because I can just binge watch some of the ones that I think are really good. So I'm thinking about doing that, just kind of releasing them all at once. But Melvin Gordon demanded a trade today because he wanted more than $10 million $10 million a year that the Chargers are offering. So, but this is Madden, so that doesn't matter. Joe Mixon, David Johnson off to a pretty decent start, and Alvin Kamara, 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. And there's his old rushing partner, Mark Ingram, 287 yards. So these are kind of just some of the league leaders here for rushing. We'll look at receiving. Jamison Crowder is off to an outstanding start. Same with Michael Thomas and Julian Edelman. Hopkins had a good game against us yardage-wise, but we kept him out of the end zone. I believe. I could be wrong on that. He might have scored a touchdown. I don't remember, but I think that we kept him out of the end zone. Randall Cobb with Dallas. He's having a pretty decent start. Tyler Lockett, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. And you can see none of our receivers so far are even really close to being in the top receiver categories here as far as yardage and catches and all that good stuff. So Curtis Samuel, he's the first one that pops up all the way down here. So excuse me. Defense. Let's look at total tackles. Luke Kuechly, second in the NFL with 39. Van Der Esch, I really like him. I'm not the biggest Dallas fan, but I really like Van Der Esch. I think he's a solid player. Reminds me of Luke Kuechly in some ways. There's Bobby Wagner, who got the 99 overall Madden this year. A lot of Panthers fans pissed off about that because Luke Kuechly only got a 98. I mean, there's worse things you could complain about. League leader in sacks, 9 sacks for Von Miller. He is just running away with the sack competition this year. And sacks in the NFL this year. As we see some of these other sack artists here. Interception leaders. A bunch of guys with 2, which includes, of course, your favorite quarterback and mine, Dante Jackson. I really apologize for the yawning. It is very late. I'm just trying to get this recorded before I go to bed here so I can continue playing more Madden. The earlier gameplay was on the EA Access. I only got the standard edition because I'm strictly a franchise guy, so I'm just now getting to play the full version without the time limit on it. So here I'm going to know actually leading the league in field goals made, and 8 for 9's already missed an extra point. So anyway, those are some of the league leaders. Awards. Anything else I want to look at here? I don't think so. We'll kind of see what's coming up ahead for the Panthers as we continue this franchise. As you can see, opening week we lost to the Rams 27-34. And then we've ripped off 3 straight wins, 20-7, 27-17, 26-14. Now, all 3 of those wins are kind of ugly wins, especially the one against the Tampa Bay. I couldn't get anything going until right at the end of the 3rd quarter. I finally scored a touchdown. It was 7-6 for the longest time in that game. And for these two, jumped on both of these teams early, but then allowed them to come back into the game, and then I had to somewhat sweat out this one. Definitely had to sweat out this one. So breaking it down into 3 quarters, 3-1 for the first quarter of the season. I mean, you want to win them all, of course, but you'll take 3-1 for each quarter because you'll be 12-4 at the end of the season, and you'll be in a good position to either win your division, definitely be in the playoffs. So the next 4 games for the second quarter of the season, we're going to be at home against the Jaguars next week. And then it's at Tampa Bay, but this is a game in London, which I'm really excited about. I mean, I'm not a fan of like trying to put a franchise in London, but I think this will be really cool for the Panthers to play a game in London this year. And then, of course, they'll get the bye week after that. And then at San Francisco, that could be a tough game with Jimmy Garoppolo and some of the weapons they have on that offense. That could be a tough game for us coming off the bye week from London. I mean, I fully expect in real life that they're going to lose that game because Carolina does not have a good track record under Rivera for games after a bye week, and you're talking about coming home from London, having the bye week, and then going to the West Coast. I don't see. I mean, I really don't think the Panthers are going to win that game. And then we'll close out the second quarter of the season at home against Tennessee. So hopefully that'll be a bounce back game for us. But still a tough game. Tennessee's going to be a tough team this year, I think. So that's going to do it for me today. Thank you for watching. If you like what you're seeing on this, definitely subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Post your thoughts in the comments. Like I said, I'm just for time constraints and just for me personally, I just think it would be better to just release all the videos all at once. So if I do go into the comments, it will be, any suggestions will be for the next season. But before I go, I do want to adjust some sliders here. We'll do that really, really fast. I mean, I love the way the game is playing right now. Like I said, having a lot of really good games, but I just cannot get a pass rush going. So what I'm going to do here is, for pass blocking for the CPU, I'm not going to take it down much. I'm going to take it down to 45, just to see what happens, just to see if I can generate some kind of a pass rush. But I'm going to bump up their run blocking to 53. So that way that can kind of make up for it. I mean, if it starts, I'm going to put it back to the default if it starts to get kind of ridiculous with that. But I just think just not being able to generate a pass rush, I mean, that's just bothering me. So, and I don't think has anything to do with my skill level personally. I just think that the quarterbacks, at least so far, are just getting the ball out too quick, and I'm just not fast enough to get down back there to them. So we'll see if that helps. But anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe, comment, give me a thumbs up if you like it, and I'll see you next week on the next episode against the Jaguars.